Have you ever asked yourself, why do you keep repeating the same habits, even when you know they're destroying you? Why do you suddenly lose motivation, right when your life starts improving you? Why do you overthink at night, but avoid changing anything the next day? And why does your mind feel the loudest when you're finally alone? Maybe the problem isn't your discipline. Maybe your mind has been controlling you for years without you even realizing it. Because the more you ignore your mind, the more power it gains over your life. And in this video, you'll discover the 5 hidden ways your mind silently controls your behavior every single day. Stay with us until the end, because the last hidden secret may explain more about your life than you realize. The first way your mind controls you is through discomfort. Most people think they are making conscious decisions, but a huge part of human behavior is automatic. In psychology, this is known as the subconscious mind, the hidden part of your mind that quietly controls your habits, fears, and reactions. And one thing your brain constantly tries to do is avoid discomfort. Stress, failure, rejection, embarrassment, painful emotions. Your mind wants safety. So when reality feels uncomfortable, the brain searches for escape. That's why people open social media without thinking. That's where the dopamine loop begins. Your brain is no longer looking for entertainment. It is looking for relief. Every scroll becomes a temporary escape from reality. That's why you procrastinate, even when your goals matter to you. That's why you suddenly feel too tired when it's time to work on yourself. Your mind learns that distraction, which feels safer than discomfort. And slowly, escape becomes automatic. A mind that constantly escapes discomfort never becomes strong. But discomfort is only the beginning, because the second way your mind controls you is even more dangerous.
The second way your mind takes control is through repetition. The human mind learns through repetition. The more you repeat something, the more natural it feels. At first, you control the habit. Then the habit starts controlling you. This is how people unknowingly build mental prisons. They repeat procrastination, overthinking, self-doubt, avoidance, negativity for so long that eventually they believe this is just who I am. But many personalities are simply repeated patterns. Someone who constantly avoids difficult situations begins believing they are weak. Someone who constantly overthinks begins believing they are broken. Someone who constantly seeks distraction loses the ability to focus deeply. And after enough time, people stop questioning their habits. They accept them as identity. But your mind becomes whatever you repeat every day. That means your future is being shaped by your daily patterns, even when you don't notice it. And once repetition becomes identity, escaping yourself becomes almost impossible.
The third trap is distraction. Most people are not addicted to entertainment. They are addicted to escaping themselves. Silence feels uncomfortable to them. Being alone with their thoughts feels heavy. So they keep consuming more videos, more scrolling, more noise, more distraction. Because distraction is easier than self-awareness. Think about it. Why do people instantly grab their phone the moment they feel bored? Because boredom forces the mind to face itself. And many people are secretly afraid of what they will find there. Unhealed emotions, regret, loneliness, fear, insecurity. So instead of understanding those emotions, they run from them. But ignored emotions do not disappear. They stay inside the mind, quietly, controlling behavior from the shadows. And this is where many lives slowly begin to fall apart. Not suddenly, quietly. Years pass while people repeat the same mental patterns every single day. A distracted mind cannot understand itself. And modern life makes this even worse. Everything around you is designed to capture attention. Apps, notifications, short videos, endless content. The less you think deeply, the easier you are to control. Because a distracted mind is a weak mind. But distraction is not the deepest problem. The real danger begins when you start believing every thought your mind creates.
The fourth truth is deception, because most people never realize that thoughts are not always true. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing every thought their mind creates. But thoughts are often shaped by fear, insecurity, past experiences, emotional pain, years of bad habits. Your mind might say, "You're not good enough. Do it later. You will fail. You can start tomorrow." And most people obey those thoughts automatically. But thoughts are not facts. Sometimes your mind lies to protect you from discomfort. Sometimes fear speaks louder than logic. This is why discipline is not about motivation. Discipline is emotional control. It's the ability to act correctly, even when emotions tell you not to. Anyone can work when they feel motivated, but motivation disappears. Some days your mind wants growth. Other days, it wants comfort. And that's where most people lose, because they obey every emotion immediately. If they feel bored, they quit. If they feel uncomfortable, they escape. If they feel afraid, they avoid action. But emotions are temporary, and people who build strong lives understand something important. You do not have to obey every thought your mind creates. You do not become your thoughts unless you obey them. A person who cannot control their mind will always be controlled by something else. And this leads to the final thing that changes everything.
The final thing that changes everything is self-awareness. The moment you become aware of your mental patterns, your life begins to change. This is called metacognition, the ability to observe your own thoughts instead of blindly following them. Because awareness breaks automatic behavior. Most people live unconsciously. They never stop to ask, why am I doing this? Why am I scrolling right now? Why do I avoid difficult work? Why do I constantly seek distraction? Why do I feel uncomfortable in silence? Those questions are powerful, because once you observe the mind, you stop becoming controlled by it. This is why self-awareness is dangerous. Not dangerous to you, dangerous to the habits controlling you. The moment you clearly notice a pattern, it begins to lose power, and slowly, you take control back. You don't need to completely change your life overnight. Real change starts smaller. Start observing yourself honestly. Notice, what triggers distraction? What emotions make you avoid work? When you feel the urge to escape? And instead of reacting immediately, pause for a moment. Just pause. In psychology, this is called the gap, the space between a trigger and your response. That small pause creates awareness, and awareness creates choice. You begin responding consciously instead of automatically. You also need moments of silence, not constant noise, not endless content. Silence helps you understand your own mind. That's why many people fear being alone, because silence reveals everything they've been avoiding. But if you can sit alone with your thoughts without escaping, you become mentally stronger than most people. The moment you observe your mind instead of obeying it, you become free.
And before we end this video, comment below which hidden truth controls your life the most. Discomfort, repetition, distraction, deception, or self-awareness. And if this video helped you understand your mind a little better, like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification for more deep psychological videos like this.
Your mind can become your greatest weapon or your greatest prison. It all depends on whether you control it or ignore it. Because ignored thoughts become habits. Ignored emotions become behaviors.
And one day, people wake up wondering where their potential went. But the truth is, they slowly gave control away through years of unconscious living. The moment you begin observing your mind instead of blindly obeying it, you change your life. Not instantly, but permanently. Because real power begins the moment you become aware of yourself. And maybe that's the biggest difference between people who stay trapped and people who finally become free.